D&Ders, RPGers, Game Masters, and such. Ready for a big OSR adventure? I'm going to give you a little history about Rappan. Why are we there? What's going on? What's it about? Well, this is one of the more interesting modules. I remember getting a real cool package thing on eBay where I got a Swords and Wizardry complete and I got Stoneheart Valley together for some real great price. And there's a little map in Stoneheart Valley when you first open the book, and it looked like the world of Necromancer games, that thing on top. And there's a little thing called Rappan. I thought it was a cool name. And I Google searched it, and I saw a review video by Undead Viking who talks about it, and he had the book out, and I had to have the book just based on the cover. Look at the cover. Nothing looks scarier than a module that looks like 400 pages or 500 pages, and it's just got Rappan written across the top, and has like this weird kind of leathery bound look to it. It almost looks like the Necromonicon from Evil Dead 2 or something. And I have not been let down by the first impression experience of looking at this thing. And then you read the forward part. It's interesting. Once upon a time, there was an idea formulated by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson in 1974, and published a little paperback book called The Underworld Adventurers. The idea was simple. It's a lot of fun to go into a dungeon and kill evil monsters. Why is the dungeon there? No one cares. Why do the monsters usually fight rather than talk? We're not really sure. Why are there 16 trolls in a cave with a jug of alchemy? No one cares. Why do all the monsters eat? What do they eat? We don't know that either, although Adventurer probably tops the list. And we don't have to know these things. This isn't an ecology experiment. It's a dungeon, the quintessential setting for our pure swords and sorcery adventuring. This adventure pays homage to the original idea. True, there are opportunities for role-playing, but most of the modules dedicated to R-O-L-L, playing. Hopefully, while exploring the halls of Rappan, you recall the thrill of discovery, the terror in your heart when you fought your first skeleton, the joy of rolling your first natural 20, and the despair you felt when that one came up for your poison save. This module, Rappan, the Dungeon of Graves, is nothing more and nothing less than a good old-fashioned first edition dungeon crawl updated for the Swords and Wizardry complete role-playing game. Very difficult. It should strike fear into the hearts of the most stalwart adventurers. It offers an abundance of traps, tricks, and monsters. We hope that you find this module as fun and as exciting as those hundreds of players who have ventured into, and not as often out of, the endless caverns and mazes of Rappan, the Dungeon of Graves. Rappan is a difficult dungeon. Even the upper dungeons should not be attempted by a party of less than 6 characters of 4th level. Only truly veteran players should attempt this dungeon with lower level characters. Parties delving deeper than 1st or 2nd level of the dungeon should be 5th level or higher. Entering the dungeon through the well, which leads to a level 3A, is dangerous and best avoided by parties of less than 7th level. So, don't go down the well. So, and you open the book. That was like in the first little bit, and then boom, you're going to get in the history, and you're off to fun. So this is the legend of Rappan is well known, having been told numerous times by bards, adventurers, sage, and lore masters. Read the following information in the textbook to your players. And since you're kind of listening to this, you're kind of like the player, right? I'm just rolling dice, but this is you going through the adventure, right? So I'm going to read this to you. All right, we got a big war thing going on here. That looks cool, right? Forces of light versus whatever this is. Lord of darkness, right? Many hundreds of years ago, the forces of good allied to destroy the main temple of Orcus in the ancient city of Zar. With their temple in ruins, the surviving high priest of this accursed demon god fled the city with an army of enemies on their trail. An army of heroic fighters, clerics, and paladins led by Zelker, a powerful wizard. The exact fate of these evil priests was then unknown. For not only did the remnants of the followers of Orcus disappear from all human reckoning, but so did the army of light that followed after them disappear as well. Some say that in the eternal scales the loss of so many good men was a fair price to pay to rid the world of so much evil. The evil cult, however, had not been destroyed. Their surviving priests and their followers instead settled on a hill near the Forest of Hope, a sylvan woodland near the coast road. They have found a vast underground complex of caverns and mazes carving out volcanic intrusions beneath the hill. There, the priests of Orcus found the perfect lyre to continue their vile rituals. For many years, they carried on in secret, hidden from the light and from the knowledge of men. Many years later, their underground delving completed, the evil priest erected a hideous mausoleum and a sunken graveyard atop the hill. It is believed that these graves are in fact the final resting place of the pursuing army of heroes that had been destroyed to a man. Soon after the mausoleum was erected and the peaceful creatures of the wood began to disappear. Though many rangers and druids investigated these happenings, the cause of these creatures' disappearance was not immediately determined. Some years later, a powerful group of adventurers led by Beaufort, a high priest of Tyr, investigated the evil happenings and found the sunken graveyard, leading to a labyrinthine complex. Beaufort and his companions found great hordes of evil creatures in the complex. Though some of his companions returned from the expedition, telling tales of fantastic treasure and ferocious monsters, Beaufort was never seen again, lost in the catacombs beneath the cursed mausoleum. For the last 100 years, ranks of adventurers have ventured into the newfound dungeon. Many fall prey to bandits and monsters in the surrounding wilderness. Rumors suggest that those who survived to reach the mausoleum and the sunken graveyard, most were slain by guardians of green stone or perished on the very first level. Those rare few who return from deeper treks speak of horrible undead and creatures that cannot be slain. All who have explored Rappan offer this one universal piece of advice: don't go down the well. There's a big scary picture. Now let's talk about our adventurers. Here we go. St. Regis, a cleric of the Order of Tyr, has been given the task of burning 4 sacred candles on the desecrated altars in Rappan. Completion of this task will shut the dimension door that is being opened by the priest of Orcus. This is the only means of stopping the surge of undead that is overtaking the known world. A group of adventurers have joined St. Regis on his quest. Wolfgar, an amazing fighter from the lands of desert heat. MacDuffin, a young yet mighty dwarf always looking to finish a fight. Thornbolt, never trusted yet always needed. And Rasmuth, the mysterious and wise. They all have their reasons, or ulterior motives, for being on this quest. Dun dun dun!